Hi, my name's Kelly. I'm a CBT therapist and psychologist, and today I really wanted to explain about my 5 top tips for running a private practice. I've been running a private practice now for about 7 years, and I have learned a lot of things along the way, and some things that I wish that I knew at the beginning. So I thought it would be helpful to put a video together to explain some of the things that I think are super helpful. So the first one is organisation. So that may seem really simple, but it is really key. When we're running a private practice, obviously we are focused on the clients that we're working with, and that can get quite a lot. So we need to kind of make sure that we are organising ourselves. So that could be ensuring that we are taking notes. I would recommend doing the notes straight after the session, so it's obviously fresh in your mind. So giving your self space between your clients to be able to write your notes. Obviously that will help you to reflect on the client as well. Then being able to use some sort of scheduling platform. Now I used to just go back and forth with clients over email, over messaging, to try and find a time that suited us. Now I've been using an online platform called Calendly, and there are loads of other ones. Obviously this isn't an ad or anything, but that's one that I found really helpful. So with an app like that, as I said, there's lots of others. You set up your schedule, your availability, and you send the link to your clients, and then the client can obviously match that up. They can book in when they're free, and then it goes into your calendar, and then you set up an appointment. It saves a lot of time of back and forth, and I wish I knew that earlier, because it definitely saves me so much time and allows me the time to do other things. As well, kind of with the organisation, is kind of making sure that kind of you are kind of getting back to people on time with your emails. So kind of that admin in terms of the organisation. So scheduling in time to organise your time to include the admin stuff that you need to do. So as I said, like kind of emailing, note taking, and it could even be kind of looking at different training courses. So just making sure that you're organising your time to really kind of get the most out of your time. Then kind of the business side of things, so having contracts with your clients. So this can, when you're a therapist or a psychologist, this is the bit that can kind of feel a little bit uncomfortable, but it's important to have that agreement with your clients about what your expectations are of each other. And I also always say to my clients that they can be amended. They're just suggestions of some things that I have found really helpful, such as letting me know at least 24 hours if you're not going to be able to make the appointment. And within that contract, there may be things about crisis lines. So as in a private practice, I wouldn't be someone's crisis support, but I give details of the local crisis, either support lines or websites. So if they do need that, they're able to contact them. And then within that, in terms of the contract, it's about gaining people's personal information. So their names, next of kin, GP, they're kind of the main ones, obviously address and things like that. And obviously if you've got consent to contact them if you need to. I would always verbally ask for consent as well. But the contracting is really important to do as soon as you really kind of start that therapy. So you've got that agreement. And again, within the contract, I often explain about payment terms. So if you want payment before or after the session. And again, as a therapist, thinking of the business things can feel, it's not really something that we're trained to do. So I think it's really important for us to really kind of take that into account. Then also in the business, it's advertising. So whether you go on certain directories, whether you have your own website, whether you have social media accounts, whatever it is, just advertising you, telling people what you do, why they would like to work with you, what you can help them with. And this is kind of where you have to just put on your confidence hat and just sell yourself the best that you can. Even though you may feel uncomfortable doing it, you need to advertise. How people are going to know about you. Obviously there's a lot of word of mouth referrals, which are great, but if you want to build that private practice, then you're going to have to think about advertising a little bit wider than just word of mouth referrals. Then it's about thinking about your network. So again, when you are in private practice, if you are in private practice alone, it can feel quite lonely at times. So making sure that you're going to networking events, going to CPD events. Again, this can be, as the world has gone that way in doing something virtually or going to actual events, meeting people, sharing contacts, and talking to people after the event, checking in with the people that you connected with, seeing if they know of any other events. So you start to build your own network of professionals. And with this, it may even be on social media. If you do build like a base on social media, you may start to connect with other therapists, so talk to them. That is so important, so you kind of feel connected to other people, even if you aren't always physically connected, you've got some sort of connection. And this is just to obviously to share ideas, but for support as well. And within that, obviously, supervision comes into it. So making sure that you are getting the appropriate supervision with appropriately qualified professional within your field as well. And that can be obviously another form of support. And then boundaries. When you're in private practice, sometimes we feel that we need to fill our day with loads and loads of clients, but if we burn out, we're not going to be any good to the clients that we work with. So thinking about, okay, so how can I best schedule my day, but also how can I make sure that I've still got time for me, for the things that I like to do, for friends and family, and making sure that you're quite clear on that. Again, at the beginning, I was working weekends, I was working really late all throughout the week. But as I've progressed in my career, I've stopped doing weekends as that didn't work for me. It may work for some people, and that's fine. But it's working out, what are your boundaries? What are the hours that you want to work? What are the hours that you want to be able to put forward for your private practice? That is really, really super key, and sticking to it. Again, there may be some times where you may see a client outside of that, but try your best not to. See, there's going to be occasions where you may have to. But the more you can stick to your boundaries and explain why you don't work at weekends, if you want to explain it, or why you don't work certain times, because it's all about protecting yourself. You are becoming your own brand, so you need to make sure that you protect that and you have those boundaries. So making sure you're taking time out for yourself, and also, as I mentioned, in terms of the organisation and in terms of the network, scheduling time for you to learn, to develop your skills, whether that is reading or going to events, making sure that you've got that time, because believe me, if you don't schedule in that time to develop yourself, you're going to fill it up with clients or with other stuff. So if you've got that scheduled into your diary as well, that's great. And you may want to do that at the beginning of the week, thinking, okay, well, I've got some hours here, maybe I could do some reading, or as I said, if you look into the future and see different events you want to go to, obviously booking them and going along to them. And the last part is be yourself. You are your own unique selling point. There are billions of people out there, and we're not going to connect with all the clients that we speak to. That is totally fine. But be you, be true to yourself, and you will find the clients that are the right fit and that you're able to help with. And that will just be able to kind of fill you with more joy, because you're being authentic, you're being true, you're fitting in line and working in line with your values. So they are just some ideas of what I've found helpful for myself in my development within private practice. There are probably loads of other things I haven't thought about or I've forgotten to say, so I might do another video on this. Let me know if you'd like to see another video of similar style about private practice at all. I have got some other videos about my career journey and kind of working as a psychologist and as a CBT therapist, so you might want to check them out, and hopefully there's something you can take from this and the other videos. So thank you.